ASMR Gaming News.
Hey everyone, Yahaha is a brand new UGC creation platform for a 3D multiplayer interactive experience. With Yahaha, anyone can create and publish their own virtual experiences without coding or even server knowledge. So creators just like you and me can build creations without coding just by using the components and smart assets provided by Yahaha. The built-in asset library with millions and millions of ready-to-use 3D assets are extremely easy and user-friendly. A bunch of the assets are not only stored on the cloud, but you're able to download packages in real time, use them, and stream them to your local clients whenever you need to use them. When creators just like you and me finish our work, we can easily publish our creations to the entire cross-platform app, both for mobile and PC, so players from all over the world can discover and join in and play with us. So hey, if you're like me, you're probably really curious about Yahaha just about now, so I recommend checking out the link in the description and pinned in the comments. Try out Yahaha for yourself and see why you'll enjoy it today. And welcome to a special new ASMR Movie Geek review. So, today I'm going to be reviewing the new Jurassic World movie, Dominion. This movie just came out in the movie theaters today. I'm super excited to talk about it. And in case you're worried about spoilers, don't worry. The first part of this review is going to be completely, spoiler free. And then when the spoiler part comes, I'm going to go spoiler, 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 spoiler. Just to let all of you know that I'm going to be talking about spoilers. So let's just jump right in. So I just got back from the movie theater. And honestly, I had a great experience today. I don't know if it was the day, the weather, the movie theater staff being nice, but I had a great time. Super comfy, just chill vibes the entire time. I had a great experience watching this movie. Just a little bit of backstory. I love dinosaurs. I loved dinosaurs ever since I was like a little kid. Watching dinosaur cartoons, movies, TV shows, playing with dinosaurs. I'm sure some of you might have had dinosaur toys as a kid as well. I liked playing with dinosaurs. I liked reading dinosaur books. So I was big into dinosaur stuff. And I've always liked the Jurassic Park movies and other movies like Jurassic Park featuring dinosaurs and stuff. So I've always been into these type of films. I love the first Jurassic Park and the second one a lot. I have mixed feelings about the third Jurassic Park movie. And after that third movie, there was like a huge, long hiatus. The Jurassic Park, I would say, franchise kind of went to sleep. We got a few games here and there and toys, but that was about it. And then Jurassic World came out, kind of rebooted the franchise into the modern era, I would say, with new and improved like graphics and visuals with CG effects. And it was a great movie. I watched that first Jurassic World movie. I loved the little throwbacks and references to the first Jurassic Park. And I was like, this movie's great. So I really like that one. And then about 4 years ago, Jurassic World 2 came out. And Jurassic World 2 tried to do the exact same thing that Jurassic Park 2 did, which was completely go in another direction and try new things. And I loved that about that movie. I have to say that, honestly, between Jurassic World 1 and 2, I kind of really liked Jurassic World 2 a lot, just because that whole movie kind of took place in like a huge kind of like mansion science lab facility. There was a lot of sneaking around and dinosaurs, and everything felt very intense and dangerous, and it was very new. The whole atmosphere of the movie location never really been done before, so I liked that movie. So, when I heard they were making Jurassic World 3, I was very excited. I've been waiting for this movie for a while, and wow, I loved this movie. I wouldn't say it's the absolute best movie of all time or best movie of the year, but it was a solid, fun movie if you want to go and just like have a good time for a couple of hours. I can't tell you exactly how long this movie is. I might have to search that up. It felt like it was at least like 2 hours or something. 2 hours and like 30 minutes. So this movie felt like it was 2 hours, or it felt like it was an hour and 40 minutes, just because of how like intense it gets, especially near the end. So I just had a great time. I never looked at my watch or what time it was or anything. I was just sitting, enjoying the movie. I was eating my popcorn, drinking some soda, and wow. So let's see. This movie is like a direct sequel to Jurassic World 2, just like Jurassic World 1 to Jurassic World 2 was like a direct sequel. Like characters and events from that first movie go on to the second one, and stuff from that second movie go on to the third one. So everything's like very connected. And this movie, this is not a spoiler, by the way, because this was mentioned in the trailers, interviews, even on the artwork for the movie. This movie does something that Jurassic Park fans have wanted for decades. It brought back all the OG characters from like the first 2 Jurassic Park movies, or first 3 even. So we got the OG Sam Neill returning as what's his name, Alan Grant, in this movie. The last time we saw him was in Jurassic Park 3 back in like 2001. So this is like the first time in about 20 years that he is back in a Jurassic Park movie. So it was amazing to see him back again. He was there in the first Jurassic Park movie, as well as Laura Dern as Dr. Ellie Sattler. Ellie also hasn't been in a Jurassic Park movie since like the 3rd movie or something like that, so insane. And additionally, after all that, we get the one and only Jeff Goldblum returning as Ian Malcolm. And the last time he was in like a Jurassic Park movie was like Jurassic Park 2. So it's been a while, and that movie came out in like 1997. So you got all these OG, kind of like Jurassic Park characters, beloved by the fans, and they're back. And this movie does a great job introducing them again. The pacing is very good in this movie. It doesn't throw you right into everything. It gives some characters a chance to breathe, a chance for you to know them first before they're all introduced and start working together. So I really like that. It was amazing to see all of them back together. And of course, all of the characters from the previous Jurassic World movie are still here. So we got Chris Pratt as Owen Grady, we got Bryce Dallas Howard as Claire, and we get everybody else from the previous films as well, including some spoiler characters that I'm not going to get into. But if you're a Jurassic Park or Jurassic World fan, you know who I might be talking about, so we're gonna leave that for the spoiler section. But wow, so this movie is really, really almost like a film made for the fans of Jurassic Park movies, or for fans of dinosaur movies. Like, there are a lot of dinosaurs featured in this. I would honestly argue that this might be the movie that shows the most variety in different dinosaur types. A lot of the Jurassic Park movies, they'll show you like some raptors. They'll show you maybe like 1 or 2 different types of like pterodactyls, and you'll see the T-Rex, but that's about it. This movie shows you like a ton of different ones. And Jurassic World 2 kind of did the same thing. I know the original Jurassic World also had a lot of different types of dinosaurs, but this one did a great job. And this movie brought back some fan favorite dinosaurs from previous Jurassic Park movies, and they're back, and they're just as awesome as ever to see in this movie. So that was super cool. The CG effects were insane. I have no idea how they filmed some of these things. Honestly, the movie felt really real, really realistic. Even if it was a movie about dinosaurs, there were moments where it was completely believable. Stuff did not really look fake, like it was not bad CG. Lots of great like effects and chases and action scenes. I loved all of them. Chris Pratt is awesome, and Bryce Dallas Howard's character, Claire, in this movie really gets to shine. She gets a lot more scenes, a lot more. I would honestly say that between her and Chris Pratt in this movie, they both get like equal action scenes together and separate, so they both get their own times to shine. It's awesome, actually. Lots of like fan moments in this movie. You know, we get dialogue between characters from the older movies meeting the characters from the new movies. They go together and work things out or go on like a mini quest, or I'm trying to be as vague as possible, but let's just say characters interact together and they say things and you're like, oh, they said something that's a reference to the old movies, or oh, this is so cool, they're working together, and it's just really awesome to see. I loved that about this movie. So there's something there for everybody. If you're a fan of the old movies, you're gonna enjoy this movie. If you just like the new Jurassic World movies, you're gonna get the same stuff that you loved about the previous movies and more. So I really like that. Additionally, the music score in this movie is fantastic. They really play on the nostalgia. They play, the classic OG Jurassic Park theme music a bunch of times in this movie, but they do it in a way to try to be kind of sneaky. Like, they play like a very slowed down instrumental version at first, and you're like, wait a second, is that the original tune? And then they'll play like a more like distressed kind of like action scene version later, and then they'll play like a faster emotional version, and then the movie kind of hits you with the OG version near the end of the film, and it just feels amazing to hear that. You're like, yeah, original Jurassic Park music is fantastic. So fits right in here. Love the music in this movie. Let me see. Let me quick check who the composer for this one was, because I want to see if it was the exact same. I wish there was an easy way to just like find out who did the music. Okay, you know what? I think the guy that did the music for this one did not actually work on the original movies, so that's very interesting. So still really cool though. Definitely captured like the original theme, even with these like remixed versions. They were still amazing. So yeah, let's see, what else do I want to say? Not really a spoiler, but this is definitely like I would say a very family-friendly Jurassic Park movie or Jurassic World movie. Yeah, I would say this one's definitely more family-friendly. The last one, Jurassic World 2, I would say was more violent. This one feels like they kind of toned that down a little bit. There are some, violent action scenes or things like that, but the camera will quickly cut away. It's not like some of the previous Jurassic Park movies, like Jurassic Park 1 has scenes where like a raptor will jump out and there's like a guy's arm just hanging there. Stuff like that, like you won't find scenes like that in this movie, so definitely the kind of film, you can take your smaller siblings, your brother, your younger sister too, or parents will feel more comfortable going to watch. I know that when some people heard about like Jurassic Park movies, they always thought that they were like super violent, dinosaurs trying to eat people and stuff, and while they are kind of like that, they're not super like violent, bloody, gory type movies. So just thought I would mention that this is definitely one of like the tamer ones, but this movie is one of the most intense, suspenseful ones, I would say. Like, out of all the recent Jurassic World movies, this one by far is the most intense. Like, there are scenes in this movie where I was literally like gripping the armrest in the movie theater because I was really getting like worried for the characters, and it was just a movie, and yet I was like so scared. Honestly, I really love that. Kind of brought back the feeling that I had in like Jurassic Park 1 and Jurassic Park 2. Specifically, there's two scenes in those movies. There's the one in Jurassic Park 1 where the car gets flipped upside down and it's raining and the T-Rex comes over and people are stuck in the car and they're trying to get out and it's getting crushed. It's very like stressful and intense. And in Jurassic Park 2, there's like a scene with an RV that's like dangling over a cliff, and there's like this lady, and she's like at the end of this RV laying on like a piece of glass that's cracked, and as she's like moving, the glass is getting more cracked, and you know, she's about to fall through, and the T-Rexes are fighting on top there, and she's like dangling over a cliff, and it's very intense and scary. Absolutely love that part of that movie. So there's stuff like that in this film. I'll just put it that way. There's a scene or even two scenes like that in this film that really were intense. So I love that. Let's see. Okay, this movie has a very interesting start. So a lot of action or like sci-fi or fantasy type movies, they like to start with something big to kind of draw you in, get your attention. This movie kind of does the exact opposite. It starts kind of safe, kind of slow. It honestly starts a little bit slow. And that's something that I immediately noticed. Like, I would say the first half of this movie plays it very safe. You get some dinosaurs, you get some story, you get some characters learning about things, interacting, getting introduced. And then the last half of this movie just goes absolutely insane. Like, the last half of this movie basically drank like 10 Red Bulls and decided to go run a marathon. Like, it is insane. So I was a little bit worried, I have to say. At the beginning of this movie, I was like, why aren't we getting more dinosaurs? Why is the movie a little bit slow? What is going on? I thought this was Jurassic World, but this just feels like a movie with some dinosaurs, and it's more about the people, and I was like, what's going on here? This is kind of weird. And then the movie was like, nah, we were just doing that to introduce you. Now let's start with the movie. And when it starts, it really starts, and it does not stop. So I loved that about this movie. Also, it does something which I really like. It makes you think that the whole movie is going to take place in like a certain location, and then it just keeps like tricking you, like, nope, it's not taking place here. Nope, it's not taking place here. And then where the movie finally does take place is exactly where you want it to be. So I'm just going to leave it at that, not spoiling anything. Just be on the lookout for that, you know, like, this movie will definitely meet your Jurassic Park expectations or Jurassic World expectations. Really liked what they did with this movie. Honestly, I would say that the pacing or the story of this movie is kind of like the Transformers movies. If any of you have ever watched any of like the Michael Bay Transformers movies, you know that a lot of those Transformers movies, they kind of start out slow. They might show you like a Transformer or two, and then we'll be focusing on the humans like the entire time. And then usually like halfway through the movie, it'll just completely go into Transformers territory and be filled with action scenes. And usually people like the last half of the Transformers movies more than the initial part. And I would say that's exactly what they did with this one. Like, it takes you on a journey. It's a little bit of a slow start, but once it gets going, it starts like just going like a rocket ship, like into orbit with the story. So I loved that. So yeah, let's get into spoilers now. I think we can talk some spoilers. Spoilers. So let's talk about spoilers. So first thing that I want to talk about is this movie brings back a very famous, I would say, almost like villain character. He's been there since the OG Jurassic Park movie. Dr. Henry Wu. He is back. He is in this movie. And the second you see him, you're like, oh, what's he up to? What's he doing this time? This movie, I would say, is very like on topic with, current climate around the world with certain like problems in the scientific community with like ethics and green energy and renewable energy sources and famines and things like that. So this movie kind of ties in current events and makes a kind of like science fiction plot that kind of fits the world of Jurassic World. So I really liked that. Jurassic World 3 takes direct place after Jurassic World 2, which means that there's dinosaurs basically everywhere on the planet. So you no longer have to be in Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. Dinosaurs are literally flying around, roaming the streets, in the ocean, just everywhere. And the first part of this movie really lets you know that, like, people are out walking in fields, there's dinosaurs, there's like animal rescue, but there's dinosaur rescue. There's like poachers and facilities kind of like harvesting or breeding dinosaurs, and kind of, I would say, like animal activists, but they're dinosaur activists. Break in, steal some dinosaurs, bring them to safety. And that's all in the beginning of this movie, so it's kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I'm not going to get too much into the plot, but basically this movie does a lot of traveling from location to location. I mean, we're in Nevada, then it takes us to like Texas, then it takes us to like where else does it take us to? Colorado, I think. Then it takes us to like Pennsylvania, then it takes us to like Malta, like an island. And then after that, it takes us to like the final location where I would say the final half of the movie takes place. And it's basically like an enclosed area that is a new, almost like Jurassic Park facility, but it is not an amusement like park for people. It is a place for like scientists and researchers to do experiments, and it's very closed off from the general population or people from wandering in there. So basically the plot of this movie is there's these huge locusts, like huge, almost like arm-sized locusts. Like, these things are enormous. Look at your arm and think of what would happen if you see a bug that size. You would probably freak out. So these big bugs are going around the United States and eating all the crops. So by doing this, people are starting to fear that there's going to be like huge famines in the future. These animals are like mutating. Where did these big giant like almost like prehistoric bugs come from? And apparently they're not eating certain crops made by a company called Biosyn. So you have what's her name, Dr. Ellie Sattler. She goes and meets up with Sam Neill's character, Alan Grant. They're like, hey, something's wrong, let's investigate this. They end up going to this facility. Meanwhile, you got Chris Pratt over here and Bryce Dallas Howard's character, Claire. And basically, they're searching for this girl from the first movie. She's in this, they're taking care of her. And people are trying to kidnap this girl. They go to Malta to basically go save her, as well as a baby raptor that got kidnapped as well. So, lots of action scenes, lots of car chases. Everybody eventually ends up in the same location. This kind of like, almost like a park, like a natural park just for dinosaurs. Almost like, you know how there's like reservations or places where they don't really allow people to go into. It's maybe just like for animals or like national park or something like that. This is basically like a funded research center that's like a park just for dinosaurs, and it's closed off, so they all secretly get there. It's amazing. They meet up with Ian Malcolm there. You know, Jeff Goldblum's character. He's just as funny and awesome as ever. He's in this movie doing his usual lines. And when they arrive here, they basically get told that something shady is going on. And they give everybody some clues and advice where to find the clues that they need. And then the movie just kind of takes off from there. They basically discover that these locusts have been created in this lab by this Dr. Henry Wu character. You know, I would say one of the villains of the Jurassic Park series, because he is kind of involved with a lot of the problems that eventually happen in Jurassic Park and in Jurassic World. So he basically made a mistake. He's talking to his boss, saying how they need this girl, the one that Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard's character, those actors in this movie, they have a daughter, technically not their own daughter, but they take care of her as if it was their daughter, and he needs this girl's like DNA in order to use it on these like locusts in order to kill them off, because she has like the missing piece of some research DNA from another scientist. And that kind of plot makes sense, you know, in the Jurassic World universe. So that's the reason for that. But she eventually escapes with this raptor, and they're going around. Meanwhile, outside we have Owen and Claire, you know, Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard's character, running through the forests, and there's all sorts of like dangerous dinosaurs, and there's some really crazy and intense scenes. I love these action scenes, by the way. Very intense, very scary dinosaurs out here. They even bring back some popular ones from previous Jurassic Park movies, so great to see some of those again. And yeah, basically like in the older movies, everything goes crazy. The facility gets infiltrated, dinosaurs on the loose. Everybody's trying to survive and make it out of there, and everything's like on fire and blowing up, and then you have a T-Rex and yet another even more powerful dinosaur than the T-Rex. Then they both, you know, those dinosaurs fight together, and there's a huge battle, and I love this movie. The dinosaur fight scenes between each other are great. The scenes where human characters are like trying to sneak around these research labs with dinosaurs and things on the loose trying to eat them. Very scary, very intense. I absolutely love it though. Lots of good dialogue and like banter and fan moments between these characters talking, so it's great. There's even a scene with Laura Dern's character Ellie Sattler with Bryce Dallas Howard's character Claire, kind of teaming up together, taking on some dinosaurs and bugs and stuff, and it's fantastic seeing them like work together. It's great. And then there's like a really kind of scary scene where the main kind of like villain bad guy, he's the one kind of in charge of all this. He's this Dr. Henry Wu's boss, and he's trying to like escape because he realizes everything's going wrong, and basically he's trying to escape, and he gets cornered by the dinosaurs. I forget the exact name, but they're the ones that had like the flared up I can't even describe it correctly. Remember in the original Jurassic Park there was like those like dinosaurs that like spit this like acid at the one guy? Well, in this movie there's like 3 of them. They hunt him down, they eventually eat him. It's crazy and very intense scene. Very, very scary. I was honestly worried for him, even though he was the bad guy. It was kind of a scary scene. So that was awesome though, seeing those guys back. Raptors are here, all sorts of dinosaurs are here in this movie. Just fantastic. I loved the cast. The acting was great. There's new characters, by the way, that I didn't even get into. Kayla Watts is a new character. She's kind of like an air pilot smuggler. She's great. She's in this movie. She helps them out a lot. So yeah, just really cool characters and everything. I loved this movie, and I would definitely definitely like to see more like this in the future. So if you love dinosaurs, if you like Jurassic Park or the Jurassic World movies, you gotta go watch this one. It's definitely one of the better ones. And, don't go in expecting the best movie of all time. Just go in expecting something fun, and I think you'll be impressed, because I had a great time, and I really enjoyed it, and definitely recommend it. Definitely recommend. So, I think I give the movie like an 8 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10, something like that, But yeah, that's my review. Love the music, love the acting, characters, all the dinosaur fights and action scenes. Just amazing. This movie really did tension very well. The scenes that were like intense or suspenseful, fantastic. Best parts of the movie. So, yeah, thank you all for listening or watching this ASMR Movie Geek review. And I'll see you all next time. So long and farewell.